Hello everyone, I'm Naz, and this is the first episode of my new series, which is called Yapping with Naz. And for the first episode, I have Marco. He is one of my favorite Python yapper. He trains YOLO model. He makes awesome, great, amazing Python stuff. And he is also a fan of open source and contributing to projects and stuff. He's just a great guy, and you should just go follow him up here somewhere. I'm gonna add a link. Just go follow him. He is just awesome.
So hi Naz, and thank you for having me as a first guest of this beautiful initiative, which is Yapping with Naz. So for everybody, hi, I am Marco. I am a software developer. I am a Python software developer, and today we will talk about also of Python. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and it's time to yap.
I'm gonna ask Marco 4 questions. One about Python, one about YOLO, and one about open source, and the last one is like general question. So now let's get started. Question number 1. If you could teach every new developer a Python concept that would save them hours, what would it be?
So I know you probably don't like dictionaries, but trust me, they are probably the best thing in Python. They are like a super tool. You can use them to make a lot of good things, like you can easy access any data thanks to the key value organization. You can have a lot of really powerful methods, like to delete objects or add new objects in a super fast way. And dictionaries are also already made for the web communication. You can easily translate a dictionary into a JSON in a JSON format, so you can have an application ready to use in any web context. So dictionaries are probably one of the best instruments or feature of Python. But as bonus tip, I can say the comprehension, like list comprehension or dictionaries comprehension. At the end, there is always some dictionaries in the recipe. Comprehension is the Pythonic way to make things. So you can avoid this, really cumbersome loops, and make them in a contracted way, easy to read, and so make list comprehension or dictionary comprehension makes your code more maintainable in the long term, clearer than use just the for loops, for example. Trust me, probably you should use more dictionaries and also embrace the comprehension. So for my experience, one of the best habits is being small. Let me explain this. So for me, being small means writing small, being really focused on a specific topic. That means I don't like to start with a huge project and start making different components of it in the same amount of time. But what I like to do is to start with a small component, implement it, and then move on. And typically also making some reusable things, like you have this task to do, and you can do by your own hand because it's really trivial. But if you automatize in a way, you write a script for it, for example, you learn something new, you make it an exercise to learn something new, like okay, now I learn a pattern, for example, to solve this task. For example, I had to recognize a pattern in a string because I want to rename my file names. The best way, for example, is to use regex. But for example, I can start to looking for something in Python and discover that there is this beautiful library called Globe, and start to study Globe, and then this becomes one of my core skills. So from now on, I can use Globe in my daily job. So being small for me means this thing. So focus on a single feature, even if it is really trivial. Try to make it in an automatic way. Write a script for it, and try to do in a different way than before. So don't repeat yourself with the same implementation, but try to add some variation on it, and this brings you to learn something new.
Question number 2. What's the one concept someone must know before training their first YOLO model?
Well, this is a really good question. YOLO, which is the You Only Look Once model, computer vision model, is a really super powerful model. And before to start playing with it, train a YOLO model, you need to understand a few basic concepts of computer vision. I'm trying to do my part on this in a kind of course, or some information, sharing some knowledge about it. Check it out, the computer vision with Marco on GitHub, for example. I try to provide some basic information on how computer sees, and I think that this is the main basic concept you need to understand before start playing with the computer vision models. How a computer sees is not so complicated to understand if you don't want to go really in depth, because if you want to understand really well how it works, there is a lot of effort you need to put on it, like a lot of math, for example. But the intuition is quite simple. And spoiler, images are matrices. And so yeah, I think that is one of the main points you have to figure out, and then this make things more easier in the process, because you can easily understand how things work, how a computer vision model can infer, can predict some images, because you understand how the computer are processing the information. And so also can suggest you, for example, why this dataset works so well and this dataset works so bad, because you can easily understand that this kind of images maybe can be a bad dataset for an algorithm, because probably they have some mess, and these others, for example, are really good for it. And if you have in mind how things are working under the hood, it can be really easier to approach it.
Question number 3. Marco, I know that you are a fan of open source and contributing, and you advocate for it. So tell me about that. And if you could tell beginners one reason why they should try open source, what would it be?
Yeah, exactly. I am a huge fan of open source because I strongly believe in open source as the way to write code, especially for a beginner, because with open source you can share your code or start to contributing at the project, and this gives you immediately a feedback, because if you are a beginner you want to start doing something in the software world, you can't handle a complete project by your own because it's quite complex and you need a lot of good skills. But if you try to contribute on an existing project with some maintainers, which typically are really skilled and really good person that can help you to understand new concepts, is the best way to start the journey of software development. And also this gives you immediately the possibility to see your work in the real world. Because you can see that your contribution, once merged, becomes a component of an ecosystem, and you can say, oh, I made this thing. So yeah, I think that open source is the way to go, also for a more advanced developer, because it gives you the possibility to get in contact with other developers, share knowledge and opinions, ideas, and grow together. So that especially for personal projects or side project, the open source way should be the only way to go for me.
Question number 4. Let's say you go back in time and meet young Marco, and you also have a chance to give the young Marco a programming tip. So what kind of tip would you give him?
That's a really good question and quite difficult to answer because the tiny version of me was always busy to learn the last new framework, the last news in tech world. So probably the best advice I can give to him is slow down and take your time to understand the fundamentals and the basic concepts. Don't feel this hurry to jump into the last new technology, new language, new framework, and take your time. Yeah, probably that is the best advice that I can give also to a new developer, because it's the best thing is being really once you master the fundamentals, you can build mostly anything on it. So you can learn new languages, you can learn new frameworks, but if you don't have solid fundamentals like data structures, basic algorithms, databases, things becomes really hard then. So yeah, slow down, take your time and slow down.
So that's it for the questions and answer. And I want to say thank you, Marco, for joining me and answering my question and being the first guest for my series. And also, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this.
So thank you so much for having me, Naz. It was really funny making this video in this async way. I hope to see a lot of new episodes for this series. I wish you the best, and see you folks.
I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode. See ya!